in one of my workout classes, the heavy breather, but it also sounded like she was going through some things or like gave us like an insight of what her life was like. She is 3 rows down and is still like, oh, this class is so hard. Hey guys, welcome to the official YouTube page for Calm Down with Erin and Charissa. This is where you can watch all of our ridiculous conversations and fun interviews. We have full shows, we've got pre-games, anything and everything that you guys could want. But first, you're going to have to subscribe. Just hit subscribe right there and you're good to go. And now you can calm down with us. Yep. Can you tell that we're reading this off a script? We hope so. All right. We need to calm down and wrap this bad boy up. Press subscribe. Thanks for listening. Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio. Woo! I'm sitting here with a bloated stomach and no eyelashes and a heavy eye, but this is my subtle TopGolf look. How are you?
You look fantastic.
Great.
I came from a ladies' luncheon,
You
so
look
that's
so
why
good. Put that back on. You're sponsored.
For those of you joining us via video, not via Veda, although he's great too. He is always the center of attention.
Injured though. We need an update on his MCL.
I don't want to talk about that right now. Congratulations, Bucks, on your win. That was a good one, but big loss. We are entering week 3 and we are already fired up.
Exhausted.
Now, I am super excited to be joining you all from TopGolf. Erin, this is, by the way, we might not have messed up our first live appearance, even though we don't have a live studio audience here. We are doing another pseudo live.
How close are we to being like as popular as New Heights?
We're close.
So not
about
close.
$99 million away from being as popular. But either way, welcome to the pregame, everybody. As always, we appreciate you guys writing in. I'm always surprised that like every single week, I'm like, oh my God, I'm shocked that I didn't think of that. I'm shocked that I didn't think of that. And you guys come up with the best questions.
The best
questions. Thank you. We will start with C. Clark 77. Do you set goals for the season? Something from last season you want to change? I'll start because I loved, Erin, your vulnerability last week. I love that you were so open. You were like, hey, I wasn't like my best self. I wasn't whatever. And I think that at this point in our careers, it's so liberating to be like, hey, yeah, no, I didn't have it. But like even the athletes that we cover that are like, hey, I'm going to be better next week. We are coming off the heels of the Sunday night football game and listening to Caleb Williams, who's a rookie. We are definitely not rookies in this job. But I loved his willingness to be like, hey, I'm going to go back, look at the tape, and be better and keep getting better. You were the same way last year about your week 1 performance. So as far as setting goals for the season, yeah, I said at the beginning of this year that I want to be better about my preparation. I feel like I'm always trying to do the best that I can to make sure that we read every article, we know everything, paying attention on the field in real time as things happen. But yeah, I just think that I don't ever want to become complacent, right? You look at an Aaron Rodgers that's in year 17. You look at a Matthew Stafford, like these guys that have been in the league for, 15 plus years, even they will tell you that you've still got to prepare and, be on top of it. So yeah, my goals for the season are just continue to prep, but also from a female standpoint, be a better packer. You have taught me that I need to be more prepared in that way.
How's it going? Well, you had your first game, your first Thursday night.
I did have my first Thursday night game. And as you know, I packed a leather outfit for 80% humidity and 80% temperatures in Miami. But what was I supposed to do?
No, at that point, you're not going to win. Whatever you do, you're not going to win.
Exactly.
You looked great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But so having 2 outfit options were, this is the trivial part of the preparation for year 20 that we're in or whatever we are. So yeah, just being better about being prepared with my luggage and with, articles and stuff.
So were you prepared? Did you feel like you had it all? Because I always feel like the first week is really hard. You're like, damn it, I forgot the eye drops. I forgot the teeth whitener.
I felt like I was good. I felt like I was good, minus the choice of leather. But I had another option and that wouldn't have worked either.
It was amazing.
I also have a rosé for those of you that are watching.
So good.
I'm excited about it.
It's great. My goals, I think my goal is always kind of the same as last year. Enjoy it. Because it's not going to last forever.
Yep.
Especially when your contract's up and mine is. So I'll just say
contract year. Huge. It's also an election year.
It is.
You know what I mean?
So all these things are bad. So contract year, election year.
Register to vote.
Yep. And what else is happening? No, I feel like I'm always so panicked leading up like an hour before that I'm trying to like not read it all, but recite some of it, just have it in my mind that it's easy, to like say, which I'm not doing a good job of right now. So I always feel like prep is a thing that I'm always trying to be really, really good about. But yeah, I feel like they're the same goals. I want to get into
that more on the big show. For those of you that are new to the Calm Down podcast, we always talk about, because you guys are wonderful and writing questions that induce bigger conversations, which we then get into on the big show. But prep, as far as you can have the full report and then things change. Unfortunately, very unfortunately for us on Thursday night to a Tagovailoa, very, very, very sad situation. And late in the third quarter, gets a concussion, and that's going to obviously change the whole, dynamic and storylines of the post game and everything else, and as it should. So just sort of like reacting on the fly. So
adding prep.
This is a tease. If you guys think that the pregame is exciting, wait for the big show. We'll get into that later. Next question, girlfriend.
All right, Molk Thornton, are Mac and Howie best friends yet? Meh, we're working on it. I feel like he can't force it. Today, Mackie had a little bit of a swim lesson.
Cute.
And Howie was waiting for him. He swims right up and holds on to the edge. And Howie was there licking him and all that kind of stuff. And
cute.
Mackie was just kind of like, but yeah, I mean, they're getting there. They don't not like each other. It's just, I think Jarrett and I would like it to be a little bit more loving than it is. But
at least it's not like something where you have to like,
No.
No, separate. No. And then every video or every time I'm on FaceTime with you, Howie's favorite position is
high chair.
High chair. Mac drops something. Great.
Yep.
Anonymous, advice on starting over after divorcing my high school sweetheart at 40 years old. Anyone that is a listener of the Calm Down podcast knows my advocation for divorce. Not that I want you to fail at anything, but I want you to get a step closer to happiness. So I understand that obviously like high school sweetheart means that you've clearly been with this person for a while, but this is a new chapter. So unfortunately, like you'll feel like a failure. Again, it's redundant, but I know this feeling. You'll feel like a failure, but in failing, it will get you one step closer to happiness. So at 40 years old, sister, you've been with this person since what? You were 18 years old. So you've had 32 years of the same story. And it's obviously something that's probably beautiful in its own right. But now you get to live a new life with hopefully somebody else that you meet along the way. And even if you don't meet someone, even if it's just a new relationship with yourself. I was looking at something today and it showed all of the success stories after the age of 40. It was from...
I saw that. Hoda.
Yes. Okay.
Hoda put it on her Instagram.
Again,
love you, Hoda.
Earmark this for the big show. There is so many accomplishments of people like McDonald's, KFC, Sarah Blakely, like all of these people that have had so much success. Like we're talking billions of dollars of success after the age of 40. So that's not just attached to monetary success. It also can be an emotional success. So I'm very excited for you. So look at the positive in a very negative situation that you are about to start a new chapter in your life.
I love that. I love talking to Miranda Lambert about all that too. Yeah. Okay, next one. Erica D. Primo 27. This is a good question. This is like behind the scenes stuff we don't think people are interested in, but it's cool. Carissa, during the Thursday night broadcast, where do you and the boys watch the game?
Great question, Erica. So we always watch the game in a designated green room. Depends on whatever the stadium is. The stadium and the teams are always so great to allocate a certain space for us. And it's what you would expect. It's a television. It's a random setup of seating areas. Sometimes it's a couch, sometimes it's chairs. There's a couple makeup setup situation for touch-ups before we go out for pregame and postgame. And then, we just all sit there and watch the game. Cute. We have our researcher, Rosie, who we love with us as well. So as we're watching the game and different storylines that happen, producers come in. Usually the game will dictate the storylines, but halfway through the first quarter, especially beginning a second quarter, for tape operations, it's really important to sort of understand like, okay, they're able to run the ball a lot. Let's cut some tape for, running backs. The defense, they're pitching a shutout. So good defensive stance. So so it's all sort of communication between what the guys and myself see and communicating with the truck so they can cut tape for halftime. But yes.
Tua goes down, and what's the conversation in your green room? First of all, it's
immediately
shit.
Correct. Yeah. And it immediately brings us back to week 2 in Cincinnati from 2 years ago when we were a baby broadcast who have literally done one show together. And it's dealing with something that is far bigger than football. And I will say this, unfortunately now I've been there twice during something like this for him, 2 of his 4 major concussions that have been documented. And all that matters in that moment is it's about the person. And Fitz, working with Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's very close with Tua, we all just sort of look at him because of his personal relationship with Tua, having played in Miami, but just that relationship. And it doesn't matter who wins and loses. It's about the individual. And then, of course, knowing his family's there. And Ryan Fitzpatrick actually said it best on Thursday night. The Tua that we saw 2 years ago didn't have 2 children. Yeah. And now those decisions that obviously he's going to have to make will have a lot more consideration about, not just his aspirations of being an incredible football player, which he already was, but just being the father. And Mike McDaniel said it perfectly. He is the quarterback of his family. So I know we have both separately echoed these sentiments, but without being too belaboring of the point, we've covered guys for 20 years and football is secondary to the health of the individual, and wish him nothing but the best in whatever decision he makes.
I married a guy that had multiple concussions. It's very, very difficult to deal with all that stuff. And you
you're
can't
there when the cameras go away, and you're there when it's like.
And I thought that was such a good point that you guys made on the desk is like, I think it was Sherm. You're there when the lights go down. You're there when nobody's there. You're there when the trainer passes them off to you and you're like, what do I do? And there's no blueprint of dealing with head injuries. So those things are very hard for me to watch, just like everybody else. I thought you posted the photo of his head coach kissing him on the head. Ugh, just got me. All right, let's turn this party up. You next.
We've got
I like this one.
Shira S, and I apologize if I always mispronounce it. I just got tickets to see Taylor Swift in New Orleans. Any tips, recommendations, or advice?
All of them.
First of all, congratulations. A time will be had. Erin and I, whatever, it was Lauren Fenner, who's with us here today, was incredible in doing the unenviable task of making friendship bracelets. So if you have a good friend that's willing to put in the time and effort to do that, I highly suggest that you lean into that. But no, bring a bunch of friendship bracelets, plan your outfit ahead of time, even if it was a last minute adjustment on ours.
You were so good at it.
But I don't know. I just think soak it up. Understand that this is such an awesome thing. And when you get there, I know a lot of people who have went will understand this. Never in a million years do you get to go to a stadium full of people and everyone's rooting for the same person. Yeah. It is pure joy. It is happiness. And there is so much dissension in the world that we live in. Even when you're in a stadium now, a sports stadium, half the stadium's rooting for one team, one's rooting for another. But this is the only time you'll go somewhere where everyone's rooting for the same person, and it's just about being happy. So soak it all up, and I wish that I could go again and again and again.
Comfortable shoes for me. Charissa was really, really close to wearing heels. And I was very concerned about that, even though I know you could pull them off. But I just needed my sneakers. Apparently, I was a soccer mom that night. I don't care. Yes, I do. It still bothers me. I bounced around. It was so much fun. Yeah.
And go with a friend that wants to dance with you and not just listen to the choreography or the words. No, I'm kidding. Actually,
go with your kind of person. One that wants to dance and gyrate on each other, or the one that's like, no, I'm here for the experience.
No, what I will say, and if you guys get that reference, it's because I wanted to just dance Whitney Houston on the ceiling and with somebody, and Erin was paying attention to the choreography. I would say this, you're going to find your person in that stadium, whether it's the person you showed up with or it's somebody else. You guys all have a common bond together, and that's your love of T Swift.
Yeah. Carly Murata. What do you think about when formulating post-game questions?
Great question.
I love this. I think about a lot of things. I think I said this last week in my little notebook that I keep. I kind of split it up into sections, what Kevin and what Tom Brady are saying, and I kind of track the game. Mm-hmm. And I was taught very early in my career who, what, when, where, why, what's going on, why is that happening, how did you deal with it, what was everybody thinking. But then again, I listen a lot to what Tom and Kevin are saying, and I kind of do my questions off of that.
I think that's great advice. I didn't get the opportunity to take that. I always say Swarovski. It's not.
It was a mind fuck.
It is. Say the pronunciation.
John Swarovski. Yep.
I'm
R.I.P. He was amazing, but really fucked with how I thought in a great way.
I never took that course because when I got to ESPN, I was at the kids' table. I was hosting Sports Nation, and it was like, telling pirate jokes. Like, what's a pirate's favorite movie? Argo. Like, that's the shit that I learned. And that does not help me in my post-game interviews.
That's funny.
No, but I will say now, I feel very fortunate. Fred Godelli, who is a bazillion-time Emmy Award-winning producer who has produced more Super Bowls than I probably even watched, is now a consultant for Thursday Night Football. And me, you and I are the same. Immediately after our broadcast on Thursday, I'm like, what did I do wrong? What did I do right? All these kind of stuff. And so he's my great resource now. And about what I could just continue to do better. I will say this. Doesn't matter how long you've been in your respective position, always want to be coached. And if you don't have anyone on staff that coaches you just naturally, ask for it. Because I'm telling you, the minute you stop wanting to be coached or getting advice on being better is when you become complacent. And so I feel very lucky that he is on our staff at Thursday night. But also, you won't get better if you don't continue to grow. Can you guys hear that drilling over there? If you can, then no, it's fine. Ryan's going like this off camera. So I'm not supposed to mention that drilling. But I will say this. I learned from him, even in my Thursday, the cardinal sin is asking yes and no questions.
And 2 questions at once.
Exactly.
What did you think of that and how did you deal with it? Because the athlete will always forget to do, I just spit on you. The athlete will always forget to do the second one. They'll choose what they want to answer.
That's literally what he wrote back. He goes, you've committed the cardinal sin. You've asked yes or no questions and you've asked 2 questions in one.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so simple. So anyway, so that Erin has to deal with it more than I do in that immediate post-game question situation. But yeah, I just need to constantly remind myself of things like that. Don't ask yes or no questions and don't ask multiple questions in one. Last but not least, Dawn's a 3 childhood crush.
John Knight, New Kids on the Block.
There she is.
No question.
Mine was, what's his name? Paul Walker. Rest in peace. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What was that face?
I was so sad.
Oh, so sad.
So sad.
Yeah, and I also loved Zach from Saved by the Bell. So when I worked with Mario, everyone's like, oh my God, Slater. And I was like, love you, Mario, but mine's Zach.
Yeah.
What was his last name? Morris?
Yeah.
Morris. There it was. All right, more of this interview
No! Are we doing the anonymous
we're doing the anonymous.
Hell to the yeah. Okay, so here we go. We have an anonymous follow-up, which we love. Anybody who has submitted questions anonymously, please follow up with us and let us know if our advice sucked or was right on the nose. Okay, original question from a few weeks ago. My sister-in-law is a heavy breather. I hate that shit in yoga. She always mats by me. God, do I say something? We said you should say something. Charissa actually suggested bringing it up in a conversation, but use someone else as the scapegoat or as an example and see if they catch the hint. Here's the update. I used the bringing up someone else as an example trick, and her sister called her out. So this bitch breathes heavy. Wow. I got to tell you, I got an update too, not to take it away, but it worked like a charm, and we deserve a raise. iHeart hates us already, so we deserve something. No, I'm kidding. No, I think they like us. I don't know. I have a follow-up. I talked about this chick in one of my workout classes, the heavy breather, but it also sounded like she was going through some things or like gave us like an insight of what her life was like. She is 3 rows down and is still like, oh, this class is so hard. I'm like, bitch, I just kept looking at the people next to her going, I feel so bad for you.
But we're really excited that your message was able to be received without having it come from you.
Yeah. If that girl is listening in my class, knock it off. It's so distracting. No one wants to hear it. Just count 1, 2, 3, 4, pull back, and 1, 2, 3, 4.
And at a time like this, I'd like to remind you all, for those of you watching on video, calm down. Whether you're in a yoga studio or in life, okay? We're joining you from TopGolf. And need I say, they also have something called the Sure Thing Club, and we're a Sure Thing. Join us on the big show on Thursday.
I could tell this girl in my class was a sure thing because of what she was doing. Calm Down with Erin and Charissa is a production of iHeartRadio.
For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app,
Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.